world-class, shows. They have to make The Witcher. They have to make these unbelievable shows just so they can get their $10 a month. And they go to 13 and people are like, I'm leaving, right? Outrageous, $13. What are these people talking about, right? And so people's willingness to pay, because they know there's almost no incremental cost, is very low, which means you have to have tremendous volume to actually make real money. Now, the advantage is it can handle that volume, but it sure as hell is hard to get 100 million customers, right? And so it can become very emotionally difficult for this long period of time where it basically never makes money. And so then you have dependency on VCs, or you have to just watch your bank account go down month after month after month in order to maintain as much equity as you can, so you don't dilute yourself to the point where finally it does succeed and you own 4% of the business. And that there's more, scar stories behind that than I can possibly tell you. So what's the problem that you have to solve? Number one is you have to survive the early years before product market fit. This is the biggest issue. And this is where marketers basically just can't do software. It's just like, it's incredibly hard for them to do, because they want to market, they want to sell it. But in order for this thing to actually become big, you have to make sure that people want it and keep wanting it. It have to stick. And so not only do they have to buy, they have to keep using it. And so that is the hardest part of doing it. I was listening to an interview by the Dropbox founder, and he was talking about how he used to pay people from Craigslist to come in and just use his product in front of him. And he said the first time they did it, 5 out of 5 people who used it didn't upload a file because they couldn't figure it out. And so that is the kind of just raw work you have to keep doing. And it's like, maybe it takes them another 3 weeks or 4 weeks to get the next user flow going. And then they have to get more people in front of them. And then those people still don't figure it out. And you keep doing that until eventually you're like, oh my God, they uploaded a file. And then from there, we're like, okay, well now they didn't come back. Shit. So then we have to fix that loop. And so there's many loops that have to get completely lubricated within the user experience of the business so they can actually deliver core value. And you have to do that as fast as humanly possible. And so within the software world, there's a great interview or a presentation that the head of growth at Facebook said, and he drew this line. And he said, people think growth looks like this. He said, growth actually looks like this. So what does he mean by that? He means that users start, they get activated, and then they never churn. That is what growth looks like. Because if you can retain a certain percentage of customers forever, then it means all you do is you can just keep filling in the front end, but then that base level just keeps sticking and growing and growing and growing. And that is how software companies become incredibly valuable. So the biggest problem you have to solve is, number one, making a product that people want to buy. And number two, making sure that they keep buying it. They keep coming back. They keep spending money on it. That's the issue. And so on a consumer side, if you're keeping over 60% by the end of the year from logos perspective, ideally over 100% from a revenue perspective, that becomes an incredibly valuable business. And so what do I mean? The difference between, I'm going to get a little bit software-y, but logo churn versus revenue. So revenue retention is, if I have 10 customers that pay me $10 a month, that means that I'm making $100 a month. A year later, am I still making $100 a month from those initial customers? Now, I might have lost a few of those customers, but if some of those other customers spend more money, because we build our software in such a way that we have the opportunity for them to spend more, if we have more than $100 from those original customers, we have 100% or greater revenue retention. That's the game you want to be in. And that works the same for consumers as it does for for enterprise sales, for B2B. So all the way through. Now, it tends to be easier to have stick on enterprise customers because they're willing to incur more costs.